Have you ever opened a PB ticket, read it 3 times, and you still have no idea where to start? Welcome back to the Professional Billing channel. My name is Britt Johnson. I help new and growing PB analysts understand the Epic without the overwhelm. Let's get into it. You guys talk about how easy it is to immediately feel, I should know this. I bet somebody else would understand this immediately. I have no clue what the client is asking me. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I've been there. So here are the 6 questions that I mentally ask myself when opening any ticket. Number 1, what is being reported? What is the user saying is wrong? The user or the client might tell you what they think is happening, but that does not necessarily mean that is the issue. Cannot tell you how many times I've opened a ticket, read the problem from the client, and was like, okay, that's the problem. And I go in and I start changing stuff. And then turns out it wasn't the problem. It was something else that they weren't realizing. And I just changed a whole bunch of build and, affected Susie's build next to me. And then it was a shit show. So I'm going to repeat that. The client might submit what they are thinking is happening. Did I say that right? The client might submit what they think is happening, but that does not necessarily mean that is the true problem. Let me take a sip of water. Okay, number 2. What should have happened? If everything were working correctly, what should you be looking at right now? You can't understand what's broken until you know what working looks like. So when I am looking at a ticket, I'm asking myself that question. I'm also looking for patient examples. I've gotten lucky with a few of my clients. They'll go ahead and put in patient examples showing the issue, but I always ask for, in addition, for examples of the issue working correctly. So we're going to use claims because claims, I don't know, I like claims, but so they'll say, this claim is wrong. We should be seeing these codes with whatever modifier or whatever. This code, the claim should be looking like this, but it's looking like this, and this is a problem. And they'll send the problem claim. I will always ask for, well, can you send me an example of a claim that looks correct so I can compare the two? I am, a little bit about me, I am extremely visual. So having a correct claim example and a problematic negative claim example really helps me in my troubleshooting. Again, you can't understand what's broken until you know what working looks like. Number 3, what is actually happening? Compare the expected behavior to the actual behavior. This kind of ties into number 2. Look at what's wrong on your negative claim example compared to what is right on your positive claim example. Troubleshooting is not about immediately knowing why something happened. Sometimes your first win is simply understanding exactly where it stopped. So finding where exactly in the process did the expected behavior stop? Like, where did things go wrong? Number 4, where in the PB journey did it diverge? This is where understanding the professional billing journey, which you're in the right spot, is going to be incredibly powerful. You need to ask yourself, at what point did reality stop matching what should have happened? So the place where someone notices the problem is not necessarily where the problem started. Again, understanding the full Epic journey, and I'm talking like, because sometimes this happens, I'm talking like from registration to claims if you're troubleshooting a claim issue, or registration to charge review. You have to understand the full picture. I know that takes time, but again, you're in the right spot because that's everything I talk about in this channel is the big picture. Remember, I'm helping you be less overwhelmed with Epic. So you'll get there. But I do ask myself this, where in the journey did it diverge? Where did things go wrong? And having that knowledge of those upstream workflows really helps in my troubleshooting when it gets to billing. Number 6, what should happen? Oh, no. Number 5, what immediately happened before that? So once you found where in the process things broke, you need to move backwards one step. Epic workflows are connected. It's like a chain of events. So one step is often going to depend on something that happened before it. Again, you're looking at a claims issue. It might not necessarily be the claim itself, but it could have happened before the claim was ever generated, before claims ever went out. Then, that causes whatever issue to show on the claim. It's a step that happened prior. So Epic is a chain of connected workflows, connected events. Number 6, what should happen next? So once the problem is resolved, what should happen next? Fixing the thing you found, it's not always the same as fixing the ticket. Your goal is not just to get rid of an error or just fix the one thing and close the ticket. You need to make sure that you are restoring the expected workflow. So sometimes you'll get a ticket and they say, this rule isn't working. You need to make sure you're doing your due diligence and, where else is that rule used? Is it used if you're Community Connect? Is it used by other clients? Do I need to fix other things in the work queue that's kind of working in tandem with this particular rule? You have to make sure the entire workflow is moving the way it should, is flowing the way it should. I learned that the hard way at one of my previous clients. I just got my claim certification. I was super green. And I remember doing a whole bunch of claim loops, like a bunch of claim loop stuff, but I didn't realize it. I learned from it, but I wasn't taught. I went in blind, I'll just be honest. It was basically, we're gonna send you to get your claim certification, and then we're gonna give you a whole bunch of claims tickets. So I had no mentor. I was flying completely blind, so no wonder I was making all these mistakes. But anyway, I had a whole bunch of claim loop tickets, and I thought I was fixing them, but I would fix them, and then another issue would happen. And I'm like, what is going on? And because the tickets were coming in so rapidly for like the same thing, I got frantic and I panicked, and I just would fix it. Okay, I'll fix it. I didn't take the time to realize what we talked about in, what step was that? Number 1, I was thinking, okay, the end user said this is wrong, so that's what's wrong, and I fixed it. I didn't look into it further. I didn't do my due diligence. And so I was just basically going in circles, making the same update, and then something else was affected. Then I would make the update to that, and then the other thing would be affected again. And it was just a complete nightmare. Big learning lesson for me. So your goal is not to just make the ticket go away, an error to disappear. You want to make sure you are restoring the entire workflow. All right, so what if you still don't know the answer? You might get through this entire framework asking these 6 questions, and you're like, all right, I know where this broke, but I have no idea why. Don't worry, I've been there. But this is good news, because now you know where you need to research. So I want to make this clear. Being a good analyst is not about opening every ticket and knowing the answer. I have been doing this for years, and I still get tickets where I open it and I'm like, what in the world am I looking at? The difference is I stopped panicking and I learned how to break down the problem. So you don't have to know the answer to start troubleshooting, but you need to know what questions to ask next. Again, if you're newer, that you might still be in panic mode and you don't know what questions to ask next. That's totally fine. We all go through it. I went through it. I went through it, in my opinion, for longer than I probably should have, because I allowed myself to get extremely overwhelmed. I was listening to the clients. I was believing. Now, some of the clients that I've come in contact with, they know what they're talking about, but that's not the case for every client. I was listening to everything they said. I was taking it as that is the issue, and that's what I would do. I would go into Epic, start changing things around, and then cause issues all over the place because I wasn't really troubleshooting the ticket. I wasn't really communicating with clients and asking questions because that was uncomfortable for me. But growth is uncomfortable. Oh my gosh, I was in a meeting. Let me back up. Last year, we brought on a pretty big client, like a huge hospital. First project I was ever put on. Very first project. I would sweat bullets in these meetings. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I would sweat bullets in these meetings. I'm remote. Nobody could see me, but I could feel like I still felt the eyes. And oh my gosh, I just remembered, like, don't ask me anything, don't ask me anything, don't ask me anything. And guess what happened? Because they say things happen that you fear. They were asking me questions. Oh, Brittany, for billing, do we need to do blah, blah, blah? Or for billing, Brittany, what do you think about blah, blah, blah? And I would sit here and I'd want to cry. Like, I could feel my voice shaking because I had no idea how to answer these people. Because I knew I knew what I was doing, but I was so in my head that, like, I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I didn't know how to put into words or explain anything. And then, as the project goes on, it's starting to get to, like, go live time, and we're doing a bunch of test build, or they want new things in billing. And, like, managers would ask me, oh, Brittany, if we were to implement this, like, what would happen? And I'm like, I don't know. And I just felt like the worst analyst ever. But it was because I was in an uncomfortable situation. I avoided things like that for years because I didn't think I was capable of it. But I tell you what, now that I'm a Community Connect analyst and projects are nonstop, I'm getting a lot more comfortable with talking to clients. But also to the point of what we were just talking about, I would have tickets or emails or whatever for build. And I knew I had to speak to it in a meeting to get it resolved or squared away or whatever. I had no idea what to ask next. And I would hear my coworkers ramble on their questions, like, hey, this is Beaker team, and you requested this, but we want to know, like, are you wanting this to happen? Do you want this to happen? Or, if this happens, this is going to be the result. Like, I was just in awe. Like, how do they know all this? And I don't. And I've been an analyst for how long? I felt so shitty, you guys. But it is how I've realized it's a me problem. Confidence was super low. I avoided uncomfortable situations. I took jobs where I literally was just support, didn't have to do meetings, working behind the scenes. That did not help me grow as an analyst at all. It's also a result of how I was initially trained when I first got my certification. Extremely, extremely grateful that the organization who paid for my certification did that. I will never forget that. That is the most amazing. It is the most amazing thing that happened to me. This is the best job, but I don't feel like I got the right training. It was pretty much, we're implementing professional billing. We're picking people to send out. We're going to send you out. You better pass your certification. If you don't, you owe us money. You can't be on this team, whatever. And then when you get your certification, here you go. So it was just very fast paced. I don't blame everything on that, but I do think that is a big contribution to my struggle for so long. So if you're an Epic analyst and you've ever felt like everybody else around you knows so much more, hit that subscribe button, because that's exactly what we're learning here. How to actually think like an analyst. That was never taught to me. It was very siloed. This is what you do in your PB class, the basics, the bare minimum. You leave that class thinking, I got this. I'm gonna pass my certification. I'm gonna be an analyst. It's gonna be amazing. And then you open your laptop and you got all them tickets, you got all them emails, you're getting phone calls, you're put in meetings, you're put on the spot, and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I got you, because I was there for years, and like I said before, I was there for, I think, longer than I should have been. But that is also because I kept myself small. We're not playing small anymore. I cannot tell you how much I've increased my skill, because I'm partly forcing myself to be in uncomfortable situations, and I also am kind of obligated to be in uncomfortable situations, because I am working for a Community Connect organization. We do a lot of different Community Connects. So like I said, projects are, they're constant, and it's picking up so much so that I'm like constantly on 4 or more projects. I'm not even kidding you. They're not huge implementations, but a project is a project, and there's so many pieces you have to be responsible for and look out for, and you got to ask questions, you got to build relationships with the clients, you got to have communication with the clients. So it's just at first it was very scary, but the more I've done it, the better I've become as an analyst. I've developed these 6 questions. I literally, every time I open a ticket, even if it's a simple fee schedule ticket, here, another great example, real quick before we wrap this up. I had a fee schedule ticket today, actually. And usually you get a fee schedule ticket, hey, code whatever needs to be updated with this price. Code whatever needs to be updated with this price with this modifier. Very simple, straightforward. Fee schedules are super duper easy, straightforward. Well, I am so used to just bing, bang, boom. Like, okay, fee schedule, update, got it, done, migrate, whatever. Coming back from vacation, still got vacation brain. The request was, now some of you might get this like as soon as I say it and laugh at me, but whatever. It's whatever, I'm owning it. Client said, we need code, blah, blah, blah. To be updated to this price, so the self-pay price reflects whatever. And so I literally thought about it way too hard. I pull up the fee schedule, I put in that code, I'm like, this code's not even in the fee schedule. So I literally sat on this for 2 days. 2 days way too long for a fee schedule update. And I felt so dumb, you guys. So then I'm staring at this. I'm like, what am I missing? Like, why is he asking for that? Like, it's not even in his fee schedule. Where is he seeing this price? So I ask my team, I'm like, so-and-so is asking for a fee schedule price update, but it wants to reflect a self-pay price, but this code isn't even in their fee schedule. So this client, first of all, not the easiest to work with. And the way that they word things is whack. Hence why I was stuck on this for 2 days. The request was actually, no, the code is not added to our fee schedule. We need this code added to the fee schedule with this price. So our self-pay price, self-pay percentage in the PB profile reflects this price. I wasn't even thinking about the PB profile. I wasn't even thinking about a self-pay discount. I was just like, I don't know. Maybe it truly was vacation brain. I don't know. But as soon as they were like, oh, well, in the PB profile, they have a 30% self-pay discount. I'm like, oh, okay. So I do just need to add it to the fee schedule. Like, I just felt so dumb. So yes, so hit that subscribe button if you are an Epic analyst and you are feeling like everyone else knows way more than you do. Been there. I still feel like I'm there, because that is exactly what I'm teaching. That's what we're working through here. We are learning how to think like an actual analyst instead of just memorizing Epic, opening a ticket, going into hyperspace, and making all these changes. All right, I hope you guys found value in this video. Again, hit that subscribe button. I am trying to grow this community. I want to help create strong analysts. I struggled for so long. I had no help. I had no resource. I had no mentor. I felt alone, and I just don't want that for you. I know how hard it is to work in Epic. It's so confusing. There's so many pieces that are not provided to you. The Epic workflow is never really explained, and I just feel like it would be so much easier if you had a friend to help you increase your skill as an Epic analyst. So that's why I'm here. I hope you guys have a fantastic night. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Really? Why isn't it not?